This episode of Obscure Chatter is brought to you by
Special Agent Tertiary Johnson thought it was over.
It's over. I sure hope that's true, Johnson. This job, everything I've seen, it cost me my marriage. You've never been married. Exactly. You were wrong. It isn't over. What isn't? Could it be tied to that mysterious thing or things in my backstory that may or may not pay off by the end of this 2.5-hour movie? Yes, it's still happening. Jesus. Actually, it's unhappening. No, that's impossible.
The Unhappening. Coming soon, depending on funding.
And now, on to the episode. Welcome to another episode of Obscure Chatter. I am your host, Terri Doty. If this is your first time listening, I'm sorry. And welcome. And if it isn't, welcome back. I don't have to apologize to you. You knew what you were getting into. Hello, my spoopy babies. Yes, I'm still calling you bebis, because I just like it. Sue me. Look, please don't, actually. What a frivolous lawsuit that would be. I mean, in the world of voiceover, it probably still wouldn't be the dumbest lawsuit ever, but... It is O-C-T-O-B-E-R. It's October already. Not gonna do a musical, I promise you. And you're stuck with me for the next... I don't know how long this is, but you do. I'm assuming, because you're hearing this in the future, which means I'm technically talking to you from the past right now. Maybe I'm actually sure there's like a gajillion movies about that, but maybe I'll write another amazing opening like The Unhappening, which for the record seemed a lot funnier in my head, but maybe the travesty that is the spot that I made for a fictitious movie is better. But for the record, The Unhappening is not a direct reference to anything at all, at least intentionally. I don't even know if I made it horror. Maybe I made it more psychological thriller. Who knows? They're all interchangeable at this point. It was going to be originally a lot more referential, but I honestly forgot until a couple of days before I hopped into the booth, which I'm in the booth, you know, but yeah, just kind of forgetting until the last moment. It's fitting for how things are shaping up toward the end of the year. But yes, I'm in the booth, and maybe saying, you're stuck with me isn't the right thing. I mean, I'm stuck in a booth for the first time in months, and I'm pretty fucking happy about it. Woo! You know, I'm just so very happy that you're listening to my little show, and I'm optimistic that we're gonna have a good time, a little catch up. And if you're interested in being a sponsor or have ideas for future finger quote open sponsors, end finger quote, like The Happening or The Unhappening. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I fucked that up. My God. Please forgive me. But shoot us a message at obscurechatter@gmail.com. I'm always happy to get messages from y'all. Except for the ones that aren't actually from fans, but like send me like AI responses. That's been happening a lot, and I hate y'all. So get super fucked on that. But anyways, yeah. A few months in advance is typically when I plan for special shows. But real talk, I almost planned an entire episode around something truly Halloween-y. And I'm watching a horror movie right now, thanks to Hoopla, provided by my local library. Not a sponsor, just an amazing service that has some really, really great content But yeah, so that's where the name of this episode is coming from. It's coming from a trope tied to the movie I'm watching that you don't get to know about. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't feeling particularly Halloween-y. I was waiting for it to like hit the way it has in previous years, and it just hasn't happened. You know, when you're in your 40s, things do start to change. No, I'm not going to talk about, I was trying to think of a funny way to say menopause, but menopause is a pretty funny word. So here we are. I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, is that wrong? Don't answer that because I can't hear you. I mean, or answer it. Maybe you're in traffic right now going, it is wrong. God damn it, Terri. I believed in you. We all believed in you. How dare you? I've never yelled at a woman like this in my life. When my mother... I'm sorry. I don't know. That's in no way anything I was planning on referencing, but Tyra. We got our water. We've got our fidget things on I'm in my booth. I'm so like happy that it's not even like that cold outside. It's just not, I want to end my misery hot. So yeah, the heat definitely doesn't help when it comes to wanting it to feel like autumn, because autumn isn't autumning the way it needs to. And I think regardless of where y'all are listening, that you've noticed that the weather is not what it used to be, what it should be at, well, hitting my keyboard. I'm so fucking mad about it. But get off ChatGPT so my AC can cool the fuck down. Please. I mean, how the hell are parents that have, you guys that are parents? I know I have a couple of you. For some reason, which I'm so grateful that you're here. But how are you dealing when it comes to like planning our kiddos' costumes because of the heat? I mean, I was thinking about that because I remember having to plan around it being warm enough, like being warm enough in my costume for a lot of Halloweens as a kid. Oh, because remember, I'm old. Still had the ozone layer when I was a kid. No, I think we still do. I hope we still... It's gone. There was one year where I wore this like silver dress of my mom's, and I'm trying not to think about where the hell that woman would have worn this very, very slim, very thin silver dress. But I want to sleep tonight, so I'm not gonna think about that too much right now. But I think like I borrowed it because I saw it in her closet and it was shiny. You know, like that's just a thing you do as a kid. You go in your parents' closet. I used to love wearing her boots and all that shit. But the silvery dress that she let me borrow, I was like, I don't know. A lot of our costumes were just repurposing something that we already had. Unless a costume was on sale, we rarely bought things for Halloween. And when we did, they were usually pretty cheap. Like I remember I bought a jack-o'-lantern carving kit, and those knives sucked. So I just remember at one point my mom being like, here, and it's like a real fucking knife. I'm like, this seems safer. Thank you. Somehow, I'm not being sarcastic. It did seem safer than some like flobbity metal. Ooh. I'm sorry, you're going to hear water being drank, and it's not your first episode, so you know. I like to hydrate. I'm quirky that way. But yeah, I actually was, for that silver dress Halloween, I was spending it with my dad and my stepmom and, you know, her kids. But my stepmom saw my outfit and was immediately like, you're going to wear something under that if you're going to wear that at all. And I was so pissed. I'm like, you're not my mom. But honestly, looking back, like, thank God she made me wear this like white fucking turtleneck underneath. Because I was maybe like 10, 11. And one, you don't consider as a kid how inappropriate something might be. I feel like my mom should have, but what the fuck ever. But again, yeah, like thank God for my stepmother, because I was also fucking freezing that night. So I highly doubt freezing is what I'm saying is an issue that people are thinking about this Halloween. like, prove me wrong. Where are you listening that you're like, oh, Terri, it's so cold. I don't know what that voice is, but oh, Terri, it's so cold. I got nothing for you. I promise I will never unleash that voice on the world again. I'm lying. If you pay me enough, I'm an actor. I have to be a bit of a hoe. If you pay me enough, I will do it. But yeah, I didn't even try to do a costume this year. I had a few ideas. Like Steven and I were talking about, I honestly still want to dress up as Jay and Silent Bob one year. And if you have to ask who I would be and who Steven would be, I feel like you guys don't know us at all. But maybe next year. In the past we've done stories on Obscure Chatter, and we've reviewed candy. And I'm like talking to Steven a little bit, like we could do this. And just, it was like so meh. Like, I feel like we're all a little meh on a good day. On a good day lately, it's meh. And those are, meh days are few and far between. And if you don't get that, you might want to examine some stuff. But, or don't. I'm not your fucking mama. I think. I was expressly told that lab was destroyed. That was supposed to be a fake laugh, and I don't know what that ended up being. Anyways, the only thing I've really been doing is sharing my little ghosties, like I mentioned last month, on Instagram and Blue Sky, and that's been a lot of fun. That's enough, right? I figured we'll just treat this Obscure Chatter episode, our October episode, like a regular old episode. So, with that being said, what have we been listening to? What have we been watching? What have we been reading? I'm just a really excited, I think, like mom character. Maybe I am your mama. I don't know. Oh, Terri, it's so way too early to be this booth mad. My apologies. When it comes to music, I've been listening to a lot of my go-tos, like Prodigy, Typo Negative, Garbage, Limp Bizkit, which I just learned that Sam of Limp Bizkit passed away. And, oh, God, that's such a bummer, because I think he was maybe 48. Really bums me the fuck out. But so listen to some Limp Bizkit if they tickle your pickle. I don't know what's going on with me today. Maybe I feel like an excited chihuahua just because I'm in the booth. But yeah, when in doubt, stick to what you know, or whatever the hell the expression is. I haven't listened to a lot of new music, but there is one artist that I feel like I slept on intentionally, but I can't really tell you why. I just really can't tell you a reason why, except maybe I felt like they were overhyped, which is such a counterculture, like, baloney stance. But yeah, Lou Reed is the artist, and he is /was/is again phenomenal. I highly doubt that's a hot take. But yeah, I think a lot of his songs have a timeless quality. And I'm pretty, taken aback that it took me until, my 40s to get into him. He just wasn't in my world. I didn't really know anyone that was listening to him or that would recommend him to me, I guess. And then when I learned of him, honestly, I think I learned of him from LA Inc., Kat Von D's old show. Do with that what you will. I watch a lot of garbage sometimes. So yeah, but my God, that woman has changed so much since that reference. I've obviously been aware of him. So some songs of his have been impossible to avoid. But honestly, I had this weird after listening where I'm like, oh my God, is Cake just doing a weird Lou Reed thing? Do you remember Cake? The short skirt, long jacket. And a few other songs, but that's the first one that comes to mind. It's I feel like maybe they were kind of channeling Lou Reed. And that might be the stupidest fucking thing to say, but I can't unhear it when I hear Cake now. It's really bothering me. It's really bothering me, y'all. But as far as yeah, that's really it for music. Like I've just been listening to a lot of the go-to stuff. And I'm definitely gonna listen to more Limp Bizkit later today. But as far as movies, again, yeah, it's been about the go-tos for the most part. And a few of my go-tos I watch year-round because they're movies. I thought as a kid the coolest thing as an adult would be to watch horror movies whenever the fuck I wanted. And I watch them a lot during the day when I'm just doing my world. When I'm doing laundry, I put laundry up in my guest room, which is where all my VHS live, and I just put on a tape, and I also like time my cardio that way because I'm done watching Judge Judy, so no more Judge Judy cardio. Occasionally I'll do People's Court cardio, but it's not a song. It's a case-by-case cardio. I've got to patent that or something. But anyways, yes, back to movies. I don't think it's shocking to anyone, this is your first episode ever even, that I love horror movies. So again, when it was planning out like my watch list for this month, like not even necessarily like obscure chatter related, I was like, meh. And I mean, I can't really give you a reason why, except for the state of the world, probably. But anyways, I mean, I'm always for discovering new or new to me things. There's just so much out there. I never believe anyone when they're like, yeah, I've seen everything. No, you haven't. You're a fucking liar, because that's impossible. When someone hears that I'm into horror and suggests only new stuff, I am a little bummed out because, like, I want you to help me. Help me and I'll help you. This is supposed to be collab. Tell me what you're watching. But I want hidden gems that I've missed over the years, over the decades. Again, there's so much, and recency bias is a bitch. So, there are movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that I'm just now, like, that are just now on my radar. So when it comes to recent stuff, and I'd say in, like, the last 5-10 years, I am surprised how much I liked The Black Phone. It came out in 2021, and it really surprised me. I was immediately hooked into it. It was a very subtle opening, but the acting is stellar. It really, really is. And I don't watch Ethan Hawke in a lot, or I haven't until like Black Phone. Then I'm like, man, when's the last time I saw Ethan Hawke? Like, I think the last big movie I recall, like off the top of my head, is probably Training Day. And before that, honestly, it was probably Gattaca. Oh. And then he fucks shit up with Uma Thurman. Yeah, maybe I subconsciously was having a parasocial crisis of faith in Ethan Hawke because of something he in no way did to me. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I know Ethan's done a lot, and this is it isn't his first horror movie, but I felt like this was a huge gamble as far as roles. I love what he did. I love what he did with his voice, just like his mannerisms and everything was so cool. I feel like he knew how much people used to really love him as, and then kind of saw him as like more of a heartthrob. I wouldn't call him like a heartthrob, but like he was an attractive guy, and Reality Bites was a big deal. And I feel like he played against type. He was creepy. He chewed the scenery. He chewed the fuck out of that scenery. I'm pretty sure his masks were done by the same company that Steven and I bought some Jason Voorhees COVID masks from years ago, where they made us wait like an uncomfortably long time, which I understood until they got really, really rude in like follow-ups. So I'm like, hey, I'm just wondering if there's an update on my package. They're like, look, a lot of people are going through shit, okay? Like, god damn, okay. I won't say the name of the company because I just realized, like, maybe I'm shit talking. Nah, fuck it. This is Yelp. This is my Yelp. Take that as you will. But the kids are the best part when it comes to the performances. Even though Ethan is so great, the lead, that Finn character, he had such gravitas to his performance. I kept like pausing and telling Stephen, I'm like, look at this fucking kid. This kid's eyes are so fucking expressive. And the sister, I forget her name, she was so damn good. And the ghosts and victims were also really great. And that's a hard thing to do. Sometimes it can just feel too forced. It was really, really good. And again, it takes me a lot to watch new horror. I tend to let those things marinate for a while. And I remember doing a movie night with Dizzy, Aaron Dismuke, if you're nasty. And not too long ago, it was the last one that we did, and he wanted to watch Black Phone. And I vetoed the fuck out of that. I'm like, what if we watch something else? And like knowing that Aaron and I have very similar tastes, it would have been perfect. I'm sorry, Dizzy, but I think we ended up watching a Wes Anderson film that night. I want to say it was, the one with Benicio. The French Dispatch, if I'm not mistaken, where it was like funny, but it was one of the weirder Wes Anderson films I've seen, which says a lot. But I guess my main concern with like newer flicks most of the time is that they rely solely on shock and gore. And I don't like torture porny stuff. I don't like gore for the sake of gore. They could have pushed it more into uncomfortable territory, because there's a lot of people are like, is this guy, molesting these kids and and I'm glad they didn't go like, hey, he might have done like even more fuck awful stuff other than like, kidnapping these kids and eventually murdering them. But I didn't have to get like a whole exposition and a whole explanation of just how evil this guy was. Like, I got it. I'm glad they didn't push it too far. And I know it's, I skimmed the novella, which is, it's a short story by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. And he was the little boy in Creepshow that's in trouble for having Creepshow comics and kind of ends up murdering his dad. And look at him now. But no, the Black Phone is fantastic. I'm not sure if I'll check out the sequel that just came out, because again, it takes a lot for me to check things out pretty quickly. It's got to be something I really, really, really want to see. Like, the first instinct when I see something is, fuck, I gotta watch that. Like, I really want to see, I don't know if it's horror, but I want to see that new Predator Badlands movie. Really, really bad. And that's how I learned that you get an R rating if the blood is only human, because they managed to get like a PG-13 because there's a fuck ton of blood, but it's all alien blood. That's interesting to me. But yeah, there is one other flick that isn't new, or that isn't old for me, that I saw, and it came out in, well, I say it isn't new, but it's new to me, and it came out in the 2000s, but it's over a decade old now, so I think it's time to check it out. And so, or I thought it was time to check it out, so I did. Someone that isn't into horror recommended it to me like ages ago, and that always gives me pause. Like, I just don't know if I can trust someone's horror recommendation when they don't like horror. It does work out sometimes, and Sinister is a prime example. I didn't mean to make my movies, my October movies like, hey, remember Ethan Hawke? Me either. No, I'm kidding. Obviously I do. But it wasn't a conscious decision, but it was good. It made me anxious, but not shitty recent movie anxious. I can't really explain it that well. Like, it did like make me stiffen, like the way it was lit and everything, Ethan Hawke's Cardigan was a paid actor. I like the lore around it. The world building was really good. I also like how little gore there was. And you can do gore without being too overt, too obvious, I guess is what I'm saying when it comes to gore. And I know there's a sequel out that just came out, and it looks decent from the trailer. not just came out. I'm thinking of Black Phone again, the sequel on that. But no, Sinister, I saw the sequel and it came out about 10 years ago. So, the library doesn't have it. That's how I've been borrowing a lot of my movies, including the one I'm watching right now again. But the score and the soundtrack were also really, really good. It takes a lot for me to watch the credits. Even like when I'm in something and I'm waiting to see my name, I'm like, how far in the credits is my fucking name? And I noticed pretty early into the movie that the score was great. And the closing song, also good, by Boards of Canada, I think is the name. Yeah, it all helped really build the suspense. And I've watched more than Black Phone and Sinister again, but nothing else new to me really floated my boat. Especially like something's like, oh yeah, it's Halloween, I should watch this. As far as old things, I did just do my recent Child's Play 2 rewatch, and it's my favorite Chucky flick. I have it on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, Japanese VHS. And I love it. It's a favorite of mine, obviously. I actually recently picked up a replica of the Chucky doll, or the Chucky skull. It was from the beginning of the movie, where they're like repairing the doll from the first one, and he's metal for reasons. But the replica is a 1-to-1 replica, and it's gorgeous. It's so cool and creepy, and I love it so much. Like, and this is where it's like, oh, Terry's a little twisted, because like I'm like, oh, this goes on my desk. Like I'm rearranging my office right now. I'm like, this might need to be something I see every fucking day. But yeah, I can't believe Horror Freak, which is local to me, and you should check it out. Horror Freak had it, and I dropped everything to pick it up when I saw the post they did about it on Instagram. And that's now one of 2 things I have that are Chucky related. I have a Funko Pop of him dragging his legless body on a cart. I think the Funko box actually said like Chucky on a cart. But I really love this film. So I'm gonna have another drink of water. I am telling you, my medicine is tasting very my own flavored right now because I'm excited and because I'm a human being that produces heat. It's getting a little sweaty in here, but I'll deal with it. I really should have brought an ice beverage, but that constricts your vocals. That's why I never understood like booths, studios that are like, oh, would you like some water? And they bring me ice cold water. I'm like, God, I hate to be a cunt, but like, can you bring me room temperature, please? And sometimes I don't ask and I just drink it and I power through because I don't like seeming difficult, believe it or not, when I'm in a professional setting anyway. But, I guess the theme for shows it's just all around for media. The thing has been go-tos. Like I've been rewatching The Office again, The American Office. I'll be real. I never got into the British one. I tried. It's a little too Ricky Gervais, but, and I've been watching old seasons of Project Runway. I'm like, man, I think I mentioned it even in a previous episode where like, yeah, I only watched like up to like season 5 or 6. Like I'm in season 15 and I remember shit. So when the fuck did I stop watching? But yeah, I just started watching Batman the Animated Series over breakfast. I finished Carmen Sandiego, so I moved there, and it's just so nice. I'm also, speaking of The Office, I'm testing out The Paper. I'm taking it slow with that. I'm still feeling it out, is what I'm saying. Honestly, yeah, I was that way about The American Office too. But I have a mild obsession with Domhnall Gleeson, so that's only been going on for at least the past decade. I can't tell you why, and I will not explain myself, okay? Probably when it probably started when he had long hair and he was Bill Weasley in the Harry Potter movies. And again, I don't want to get into it, but Mm-hmm. But it's always weird to hear him with an American accent. Like his American accent and David Tennant's. I'm like, where are you guys supposed to be from? This, hey, look, I'm an American just like you, all right? Like, ooh. But it's not to say it's bad. It's just jarring because, Donald's very Irish. But it's fun to see familiar faces, but I do hope they don't rely too heavily on nostalgia tied to, the original American Office. I do love seeing Oscar, though. I really do. I'm optimistic, cautiously. But I've been hurt before, so... The big new to me has been a series that I've seen clips for off and on for years. It's not without its controversy because of a few things, namely its ties to someone that exploited their fan base and did some horrendous baloney. It hurts, when you learn how fuck awful someone you looked up to is, but wow, how accustomed we're all getting to that. Isn't that fascinating? But anyways, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it just really sucks. But the series is one of those cases where I was actually able to separate the art from the artist, which I guess in the traditional sense, it's like, well, you don't know what this person did. I'm consistently online, so it's hard for me to miss a lot of stuff, especially if it's in my world at all. But I think it helps that it didn't feel like their project. It's just their book is the source material. And the show is American Gods, which started airing in 2017, I believe. I had every intention of reading the book or books. There's a follow-up, but I don't know. I don't know if I will. Maybe if I can borrow it from the library or something, in a way that I'm not contributing to this person at all. Maybe. I don't know if I would be able to separate it the same way, but I borrowed season 1. And again, from my local library. Libraries continue to win. I don't think I've made that clear. And so I'll just continue to hammer that point hard. But I went to a local sale that they had, and then I went to the library proper. But in October and April, they have a little library sale. And I was kind of bummed because the sales are usually huge, and this one was really small. Even Steven, who rarely goes with me, he noticed immediately, whoa, this is pretty sparse. They just didn't have a whole lot the way they usually do. Found some cookbooks that were on Steven's want list, and I grabbed an entire run of a Buffy comic that I didn't know existed. It has Sarah Gailey as one of the writers, and I love her work. The Echo Wife and Magic for Liars are 2 of my favorite books, honestly. But yeah, it was small. This was the first time that I kind of realized how much they rely on donations in terms of what they can sell on the thing. But I also feel I can't prove this. I feel like they were policed a little bit. I have no evidence at all, but Texas has been Texas-ing. And no, it isn't a good thing. If it rarely is. Rarely, if ever. But yeah, I quickly went back the next week and borrowed the rest of American Gods. I just finished season 3. And I'll admit that it doesn't hold a candle to the first 2 seasons. Some people don't even like the second season. I do. Because I love Pablo Schreiber's character a lot. But it's just a wonderfully weird show. I think I'll buy the complete series down the line and just maybe skip the last season. It does suck that it was canceled on a cliffhanger. But, I edit my watches all the time. I only watched the first 2 seasons of Killing Eve. I only watched the first 2 seasons of Penny Dreadful. I only watched the first 3 seasons of Dexter. depending on my mood, sometimes I'll only watch up to the end of Michael Scott's The Office episode. So I've stopped it once so far in a run where I stop after Goodbye Michael in season 7. I start Parks and Rec in season 2. Yeah, editing is fun sometimes. You miss absolutely nothing if you start Parks and Rec season 2 is what I'm telling you. But no, you might dig American Gods. And since I love chatting about libraries, I guess that can like push us straight to talking about books. Books, y'all. I finally checked out Cabal by Clive Barker. Cabal is what the movie Nightbreed is based on. And Nightbreed is one of Steven's favorite movies. I really feel like I didn't watch it before, like he got me into it. Maybe I watched it at some point, but like, no, I did watch it before because I was already obsessed with David Cronenberg. Not as a director. I'm telling you, I don't want to dive too much into why I'm really into David Cronenberg in that movie, even when he's wearing this really fucked up mask. Guys, do not share this with your therapist. I don't want to hear your takes, nothing, but Cronenberg and Nightbreed, he can get it. I'm sorry. And it's weird. And I'm sorry again. And you might be Googling what he looks like and be super confused. And I 100% understand. But anyways, back to Cabal. Yeah. If you liked the movie Nightbreed, you'll notice the source material is pretty well honored in Cabal. I'd say Clive Barker. I'd say it's because Clive Barker directed it. He directed the movie. And you know, he also had fun expanding on the world in the movie too. Even with a dubbed Doug Bradley. Well, I guess it depends on what cut you're watching of Nightbreed. I just said that I was going to go back to Cabal, but well, they're intertwined, damn it. But in the director's cut, you get Laurie singing, so I tend to skip that. It's so random and out of left field. She's not a singer in the book. I don't know why they're like, yeah, we really need like a whole number where like Boone is like tripping balls and he looks really annoyed that Laurie is singing so loud and so oddly. But no, I really liked Cabal. It flowed well, finished it pretty quickly, and I saw there's a comic, so I might need to check that out. I actually thought I had read I, Robot by Isaac Asimov, but I opened it in my e-reader and I could not recall a goddamn thing. It's so good. And no, it's nothing like the fucking movie. Because the book is actually 9 stories that were originally featured as shorts in magazines that Asimov eventually compiled into I, Robot, from what I can remember. But I want to read more about the Robot series, but I definitely need breaks between reads. Sometimes a world is so fucking detailed, you know, like when you finish the book and like, oh, hey, there's a follow-up. Like, I'm going to need a fucking minute, you know. It's timeless writing, though. You know, occasionally you'll get like a, well, gosh. I'm like, wow, this was written in the 50s. Okay. But I did hop into another Asimov book called Nemesis. It's one of his few standalones. I can think of only like 2 others. Which I have, but I haven't read. But Nemesis is a different book. It's not tied to any other series. Yeah, so it's a true standalone. From what I recall, I'm sure there's like one Asimov reader that's like, you clearly haven't read I don't care. It's one of the last novels he wrote, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Nemesis, a nonfiction read that I think everyone should check out. Everyone. I don't care what your belief system is. I think everybody should check this out. But it's Separation of Church and Hate, A Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalists, Fascists, and Flock-Fleecing Frauds by John Fuselier. I don't know how to say his last name. I've been saying Fugelsang. But yeah, And I've known that guy since he hosted like America's Funniest Home Videos. But it's brilliant. Whether you're reading it or listening to the audiobook, you get John's perspective a lot. And it just made me realize, honestly, how fucking punk rock the actual man Jesus was, and how much a certain group uses Jesus as more of a mascot than as an example of how to treat their fellow man. Seriously, check out a sample. See for yourself. I feel like I've learned a lot from it. And I'm just an agnostic trying to live in a very dumb world. You know, I've also read a lot of romances and full-on spicy things, but actually, you know, like I know I've talked about a lot. We're a good chunk in, so I won't. Follow me on Goodreads. And you can see what this speed reader really liked, that you're like, Jesus, Terri. You can find me on Goodreads. You can search me, or you can search my book, One of Few, which is available on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, and Audible. I rarely promote my work, so wink. And that's it for media. Believe it or not. Like, after reviewing stuff since the last time we chat and seeing just how few new things there were, like outside of books. But again, yeah, like, whoa, Terri, like, why meh? Like, if you're a regular here, you know I like me some movies. I like me some shows. I like me some music. And I love me some Halloween. For me, October means watching an unhealthy amount of movies, especially horror. It means picking up a bag of candy or bags of candy. It means, preparing to grab a pumpkin and not making the mistake of carving it too early. It means figuring out what haunted house I'm going to in order to really just complain about how loud the sound effects are. I've watched some horror. I have no plans to pick up candy because holy fucking shit, have you seen how expensive candy is? I will get a pumpkin. I just hate all the ones I've seen. I haven't found the one. And I'm not doing haunted houses probably ever again because I don't trust anyone anymore. When it comes to enclosed spaces. But yeah, I hope you're not too bummed that it's not like, oh, Halloween, like, ooh, obscure chat. I don't know. I hope you're not too bummed that I'm keeping it like Halloween light, because we're talking about some stuff, but nothing huge. I'm sure I'm not explaining this the best. It's just, I don't know what it is. Oh God, like, what if this is like everyone being like, she's depressed? How does she not see she's depressed? But I don't feel like I'm depressed. I feel like I'm constantly in a state of panic, like most good people living in this hellscape. But yes, I do think my media, new to me, go-tos, oldies, for helping, trying to keep me relatively sane through it all. Speaking of media, speaking of art, I did get a new tattoo. I used to really tell people about it, and now 20 plus later, I just don't talk about them aside from most artists, when it's not just a flash or whatever, sometimes they'll post about it. Sometimes I wish that they would ask me beforehand because if it's my arm, I'm like, oh, can you tell a bitch that you're planning on posting or that I'm expected to take photos? If it's flash, more than likely they're not going to do that. It's great. But I'm nowhere near done. Yeah, 20-ish later. I used to count them, but I haven't in a while. I think it's at least 20 or maybe close to 20. I don't know. But I love tattoos. I really do. Do they all mean something? No. My first one was Drama Faces. It's on my ankle because I'm an actor and I wanted to make sure I never forgot that, I guess. I was still in high school too, I got it in April, on my birthday. My high school sweetheart took me. And some people made fun of me for getting one, which was really stupid and weird. Some teachers would be like, you're going to regret that when you're older. And look, Mr. Fake Name, because I don't want to actually narc on anybody. Karma will do that for me. But you're divorced and dating a girl I'm graduating with, dude. So how about you don't talk to me about fucking regrets? Okay? My drama faces are both still the appropriate comedy and tragedy. There's not tragedy and tragedier. And as far as the teacher thing, I might be joking. I might not be, though. Yeah, that tattoo. Got my very first tattoo at Randy Adams in Fort Worth. And Randy Adams, I don't know why I said it. Randy Adams was the only studio then or now that I recall seeing an ad for, like on television. And that's why a lot of us went there for our first tattoo, like at least in my area. I even got my septum piercing there, and my piercer rocked my socks. It was just like, done. And she was like, oh yeah, you have a great nose for a septum piercing. And my God, that thing's like almost 20 years old. That's crazy. But they're actually doing a flash sale on Halloween, and I might go. A lot of studios are doing sales like that because things have been pretty slow all around. Even I'd say, especially for artists. So I might be down. I might go to Randy Adams or something else and get something completely random. Stay tuned. I might talk about it, might not. Because there's nothing like talking about something you can't see on a podcast. So since my first tattoo, I've had a few artists and visited a bunch of different places. And some I've had one cover up and one touch up on the drama faces, believe it or not. There are some studios that just have different vibes. Like some have no flash art whatsoever and they only do custom stuff. But I met in January of 2019, I met Spooks, which you've seen me talk about him before on Instagram. And I've probably brought him up before because I've had a few tattoos done by him since the start of the show. But he goes by Necronometron on Instagram. And it was because I got a best friend tattoo with my now former best friend. And she was actually the one that found him. And I think I mentioned this in her episode from the first years of Obscure Chatter. And I have to guess that we chat about it because I'll probably never listen to that episode again. But we bonded over Wednesday Addams. She dressed as Wednesday for Halloween and went to a party I was having with my roommates. My God, that house really, everyone was like, oh, good decorating. Like, we didn't decorate. This house should just kind of be condemned. I don't know what fell just now. Whatever. But everyone thought she was a goth schoolgirl, and I was dressed as a schoolgirl because I found this very I was at my skinniest working at Guitar Center, and that's when I had this party. This was shortly after my first date with Steven, and I found this thing just at Thrift Town, which I don't think's around anymore. But I went there all the time, and they would really yell at you if you brought the hangers up to the counter. Don't ever do that. They will yell at you, and it will be very justified. Anywhere, at any thrift store, who knows? But I was dressed as I was actually dressed as a Catholic schoolgirl because I was wearing what was clearly a fat Catholic school kid's outfit. I'm like, holy shit, this fits me. Woo! So when her and I were together, they're like, oh, are you a goth one? And she's like, nope. And just didn't explain who she was. And then I looked at her because we'd been in the same writing group or whatever. I was like, I thought you were Wednesday Addams. She's like, I am Wednesday Addams. And that's how we got really close. So after 15 plus years of friendship, we decided to get tattoos together. And some might say that's the kiss of death or a curse. But I think we were already on our way there. We just didn't see it until we did, I guess. But we thought about nothing too best friend tattoo. But yeah, we thought about Wednesday's doll, Marie Antoinette. The head and the body weren't ever connected. And it was always kind of in Wednesday's likeness. So She got the body, and I got the head. I even said that the tattoos would look great even if our friendship ended. And I was right. Spooks and I are friends now. We chat here and there. I haven't had the heart to tell him that her and I are no longer friends. But I'll get there eventually. And this is, my latest tattoo from him is my fourth by him. And I had this idea for a cross fox, but I didn't know how to explain it in a way that wouldn't, another artist wouldn't be too cutesy. So they're a rare form of fox, and I wanted to see what a fox like that would, I wanted to see what his style would do with that. And what he came up with is so beautiful. And I'm so glad it's on my dominant arm. I'm so glad I get to see it every day. I posted a pic on Instagram if you're curious what he did. And Spooks and Steven are also friends. And they are so cute. They are so cute together. Honestly, it's amazing. I get a word in when they're around each other. But yeah, it's always a good chill time with Spooks. Check him out. If you're local or willing to drive, his stuff is so good. He actually also made these amazing Mew cards, like a faux Pokemon card in his style. And Steven and I grabbed one each while we were there. And I think he only made like 100. He might have a couple more. Who knows? But we snagged one. He snagged one, I snagged one. And I got number 11, which I think I also posted a pic of if you're curious what those look like. It's actually the only Pokemon card I have. And I've actually been thinking about collecting them. Is that crazy? Like, am I too late in that? Like, I'm not trying to do it like to earn money or whatever. Like, I kind of want to collect some. Maybe I'm collecting enough though right now. Or is that the crazy thought that I'm collecting too much? Life is short. Get things that bring you joy. So, no, the actual craziest thing is how taking off second skins, which I'm so glad that they speed up the healing process. But oh my God, they drive me crazy. But not as crazy as the way that you used to just have this fuck awful saran wrap on your arm. Maybe some studios still do it, or if it's a certain part of your body you can't do the Sanoderm or dermaplane or dermaplane. No, that's shaving your face. Whatever, the dermaskin or whatever, or Tagaderm, whatever those are. Man, if you have any hair at all, you are fucked. But some parts of the body, those don't stick well. So, speaking of healing reminds me. Since I've had some people asking, I do have an update regarding my almost $500 bill from my doctor. A bill that I should have never gotten if they'd coded things the way they needed to for a wellness visit. After over 8 months of phone calls, emails, voicemails, I still owe them $23 fucking apparently. I laughed when I got a text. It's like, hey, here's your current bill. I'm like, okay. I laughed through the pain. 'Cause again, everything should have been covered. So I got tense immediately thinking about the next steps. Okay, who do I need to call now? And the injustice. But what did I actually do after a day? I paid the fucking bill. I know. But the relief I felt, seeing a zero balance finally, it was the right call. It really was. I paid the remaining balance even though it should have been covered. Steven had an almost $200 bill and his was completely covered. He got more care than I did and more time with the doctor, but I am a woman, so I guess I should have paid more because boo, woman, boo. In Texas, that's a real thing people do. Just boo, your property, get away, suffragettes should die. I don't know, Jesus, it feels like we're there. No, too real. So yeah, I chose the path of least resistance for once. Because I just wanted these people out of my fucking life. You know, may their pillows always be warm. May their toast always be soggy. And may their butts always be itchy. I don't know. Fuck these people. Bye. Never talk to me again. Next time you talk to me, I'm sending you a fucking invoice, you cunts. But yeah. I'd honestly get my boobs smushed in the boob smushing machine every day for the rest of my life. It meant I never had to speak to someone from that doctor's office, which is not tied to the boob smushing machine. Which boob smushing machine is the official name, and I bet you didn't know that. Yes. I went for my second mammogram at the end of last month. That's something you need to know. I get those, you got to get those boobies checked. So yeah, you do need to know, especially if you're over 40. Examine those boobs too on your own. It's easy to do when you're taking a shower or a bath. It doesn't take long. Yeah. Boob health. Boob smushing. I thought I would be more nervous, as nervous at least as I was the first time, but I was walking around the tech with just those titties out, swinging all over the place, and we were just chatting up a storm, bitching about like glamour shots for some reason. It hurt more, and I have no idea why. They ask that you don't wear any perfumes, including deodorant, and they also request that you don't wear lotion. Like, for some reason, those things fuck up results and readouts, which if the readout's going to get fucked up because, I'm wearing, like, fucking Secret, that's odd to me. But they just made me wipe off my deodorant last year. They didn't make me wipe off my boobs. So maybe it hurt this more because I was uncomfortably dry. My poor boobies. Am I talking about my boob? Have I said boobs enough? Well, I got a donut afterwards, so I guess it was all worth it. Shifting into work mode and less into booby squish mode. Though, those aren't mutually exclusive topics, depending on the project. I'm being 100% sincere there. But okay, there is no booby squishing in this project. And I will stop saying boob. Now. Better? You're a bunch of boobs. But if you follow me on social media, which is at Tdotally, TEEDOTALLY, that went better than spelling out October earlier. You might have seen me talk about this, and I have to be careful what I share at this stage, but I will give you a little bit, give you a little taste, a little amuse-bouche. I got an email in the summer of last year, and I think it was June, if I'm remembering correctly, but the email was from Jamie Snowden. And I always have to smile when I talk about Jamie because he's adorable. And he's someone that I first knew as a student. He's an amazing voice actor as well. But he was my last batch of VO students before I stopped doing my lessons at home. And I stopped doing them from home because there were some people that weren't as nice as Jamie. And that's all I'll say. But some of it's pretty fucked up. Anyways, no. The title of the email was Cartoon Project, which is an easy way to grab my attention. And Jamie talked about this cartoon pilot that he'd already started recording on. And the cast itself had already been a little beefy, already pretty built up. And so it included some colleagues that I've worked with previously and also the great Mario Castañeda. And Mario is actually the Spanish voice of Goku. And this is his first ever English role. It's for this project. And so eventually I got to the point in the email where it said, I want you to play the lead with those big eyes that look off to the side that I probably overuse if you text me. So it's always nice to be thought of, even if it's a Scream and Die session or a Walla session, which means with all actors, those group sessions. But no matter the role, if I'm booked, I'm feeling fucking great. I don't do those anymore because, again, in closed spaces, I trust no one anymore. Even before COVID, some motherfuckers really did not care to be wearing deodorant. Like, did you just get back from a mammogram? Put some fucking deodorant on. And if you fart, guess what? You're not being sneaky, Becca. But anyways, back to it. Jamie thought it'd be perfect for this lead, and wanted to see if I'd entertain doing this pilot. And so the show for the pilot is for a show called Par, A Normal Girl, and it was pitched to me initially as like a Danny Phantom or Life and Times of Juniper Lee style show, like Villain of the Week with a Mexican twist. I come from a Mexican household. Of course, I want to know more at this point. So Par, short for Para Sol Sombra, which means Sunstopper Shadow. She's 13, 14. She's spunky. He kind of also mentioned, think like a Sailor Scout that didn't quite make the team. So again, yeah, it's like he really knew how to pitch this. The email is basically like, let me know. And I marinated on this and kept going back to the email and the artwork. And it's really nice when you can feel someone's passion for a project. Sometimes even in auditions, Stephen and I were talking about this yesterday. It's really nice when you can see through the sides how much the person behind this that would be like working with you loves the project. And sometimes you can also tell when someone doesn't give a fuck through those sides. But that's a whole other bag of bananas. Bag of very green bananas. But I felt Jamie's passion. I felt his excitement. And Par felt like the kind of show I would have loved to have watched as a kid. So after a couple of hours of just talking stuff over with Steve, and I replied to Jamie that yes, I was interested in being part of the project. And I quickly got to learn more about the world, about the characters, and he sent over even some test footage with some like scratch track voices. I think they were like Russian. It was just really fun to see. And I've done some prelay here and there for like shorts and smaller animations. I'm even trying to fuck with like animating myself, which is interesting. But this is the first true original animation that had like series potential. And so after some back and forth, I sent Jamie 3 options to see if we were on the same page on where Par should sit tonally, vocally, and all that other bonanza. So the first file was my favorite. And it was Jamie's too. And I love when that happens. We recorded not long after. It was a really fun session. Lots of laughter. Lots of experimentation when, attacking certain parts of the script. And I was very sweaty by the end of that session. Probably as sweaty as as I currently am, and I'm pretending I'm not. Because Jesus Christ, I know how to party on a Sunday. Because that's when I'm recording. Woo! It's worth it. It's worth it to talk to y'all. And also watch fun movies. But yeah, I'm always very sweaty by the end of a session because booths are never kind in Texas, especially if you're jumping all over the place. And I can't sit still in the booth. You guys can't hear a lot of my movements, luckily. But woo! So here and there after that, Jamie's been keeping me, he's been kind enough to keep me posted on things that are Par related. And it's gotten a lot busier lately as he and some other people in his camp are preparing to do an official campaign through Indiegogo, I believe. It's Indiegogo, not Indigo. I don't remember, but forgive me, but I wish I had more info regarding it, but please keep up with Par if you follow me on social media, especially Instagram. I've got a little Par highlight on my Instagram profile. You'll be able to find Par-related stuff pretty quickly, and links to follow all that stuff. I'm optimistic because I've seen the dedication Jamie has to the whole thing. So Par it's grown a lot since I recorded. There's already like all these different changes to like characters and everything. Like, wow, that's awesome. I'm really excited for the future. I'm manifesting awesomeness. I'm so glad to finally be able to talk a little bit about that because I've been sitting on it, for over a year, like I said, and I'm really pumped to see where it goes. But, and I'm also just so happy that I've gotten to catch up with y'all. I'm recording this before the end of the month, so I reserve final judgment on this Halloween season. I'm just saying, it better step up its fucking game quick. Yeah, I told Halloween. Yeah. If you've got any recommendations, topic, sponsorship requests, contact us at obscurechatter@gmail.com. And remember, all submissions remain anonymous. But yes, until next time, read good shit and skip the bad seasons. Watch good shit, listen to good shit, don't be a shit, call people on their shit, and don't carve your pumpkin until Halloween Day. Trust me. Happy Halloween, jelly beans. Later.